Hi guys, and welcome to the halfway point of my series where I go through every single type in Pokemon and list up my top 3 in every type. And for this milestone video, we are going through the ground type Pokemon. Now when I did this video, I didn't think ground type would be this place in the list. I thought it was going to be lower down. But surprise, surprise to me, it is the milestone video. And a good video too as well, because ground type Pokemon is the one video I had a bit concerned about, thanks to what I've seen on similar lists on YouTube. Now, first of all, when I made this series in my head, I decided to go through the Kanto Dex and go through Pokemon's typing one by one and start with the primary type. The only one that doesn't follow this trend is the flying type Pokemon, since all flying type until Thundurus in Gen 5 doesn't have a primary type of flying. The primary type is always another typing, never flying type. So like Charizard is fire flying, Pidgey is normal flying, Murkrow is dark flying, and Gyarados is water flying. So there's no Pokemon out there until Thundurus that has flying as their primary type. But thankfully for me, I saw Rattata after Pidgey and was like, okay, let's do flying type now and then we do normal type so we don't have to wait until later on with the flying type, and that makes more sense. Now, why I was concerned about the ground type video is because most time when I've seen lists like this on YouTube without a PokeTuber, they all seem to have the same rule of not using the same Pokemon for two types. Like for instance, Bulbasaur. If you have Bulbasaur as your favorite grass type Pokemon, you cannot use Bulbasaur as your favorite poison type Pokemon. You should always try to have another Pokemon there. If you can't really, then you cannot do much, but you should always try to distinguish one type with another type. So, for instance, like, okay, Bulbasaur's grass type, okay, next time we do Arbok for poison type, for instance. Now, I had a concern as well when it comes to ground type, since I already used Nidoking as my favorite poison type besides Nidoqueen. And so like, should I use another Pokemon for the ground types number 1 or should I not? Then I figured most other videos like this has only gone through their favorite Pokemon of every type, not the top 3 like I'm doing. And going through all the ground types Pokemon out there, I can't really put anyone above Nidoking. So I'm gonna be completely honest with my videos from today and rest of this series, and if I can't really have a Pokemon in similar level as number 1 if I've used another type before, I'm just gonna be honest and say that is still number 1 on this new list as well. So you all guys gotta know number 1 is Nidoking, because anyone who has followed me so far and subscribed to me and watched my poison type video, you truly know that I really love Nidoking. Nidoking are sharing the space number 1 on my favorite Pokemon as a whole with 2 other Pokemon, but Nidoking has been number 1 since Gen 1 was introduced to us. Ever since the Red and Blue games came out, I love Nidoking. Ever since the anime, I fell in love with Nidoking, though I thought Nidoking was bigger. But most of all, for me, Nidoking and Nidoqueen was the perfect Forest Guardians family out there. I truly thought they were like the deities that protected the forest from being too destroyed or misused by humans and protecting the Pokemon that lives in the forest. But that's not really the case with Nidoking and Nidoqueen. And when I got older and realized how I'm way taller than Nidoking, I got a bit sad, but I still love Nidoking, and frankly, if there are any games out there in the future that will have me able to use a Nidoking or a Nidoking or both, then again, if you get one, you get the other one. I will have that on my team no matter what, because Nidoking is the best Pokemon ever made since from Gen 1. And nobody can make me change my mind, and I'm gonna die on that hill. Nidoking is the best from Gen 1. But that's more about our number 1. Let's go into the other 2, and if you like this video, feel free to comment your favorite ground type Pokemon down below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit like, and smack that notification bell so you know when this goofball makes more videos. And now let's get into number 3 and number 2 on my top 3 ground type Pokemon. And at number 3 we have Garchomp. Garchomp has been very much a powerhouse ever since it was introduced to Pokemon, and I love the sleekness of Garchomp, and also having a Dame Landshark that can technically fly for some reason was hella awesome. And having this pseudo legend Pokemon pair up with the strongest champion ever created in Pokemon history, Cynthia, you cannot help but fall in love with this Pokemon. You can't. And I will offer you a chance to argue against that in the comments below, but I don't think you can. And if you do, well, color me surprised. The other thing nagging me with Garchomp is like when they made it China for Garchomp, they used that algorithm, and fortunately Garchomp lost in the shiny department. But he has power, he has awesomeness, he has great typing, speed and attack. I love his abilities, and I was also surprised at a great for his first Mega. It Mega C, out of the hand, looks great. I wish that was the original Mega for Garchomp. And also wish it could have like Gible and Gabite's shiny coloring, because that would make an awesome shark on land and on air. And then we go to number 2, which is Sandile. Yes, you heard me correctly. My number 2 favorite ground type Pokemon is gonna be Sandile. Now, I have probably said this a couple of times before already, but my 2 favorite animals in the world is alligator and crocodiles. Just because I just love the raw primal of those animals and the ambush predators, and wish I could be one if I get reborn. If I get reborn, who knows? I'm not that kind of good guy, but if I can, I wish to be one of those animals. And I love it already when we got Totodile in that line, but I was mostly like other Pokemon fans out there, especially in the later years, a bit disappointed we didn't get that line on 4 legs. I don't really know how to say that, the correct term for that. So if you know how to pronounce 4-legged creatures, please comment down that on the comment section so I can learn and take that in. But then we got introduced to Sandile in Gen 5. Now we have a desert crocodile on 4 legs. And like that was already cool and all. Then we get to see Ash Sandile with the sunglasses. But a funny quirk, like, it's always brave and confident as long as it has the sunglasses, but as soon as it loses that, it becomes scared and kind of mild in nature. So that's kind of a fun trope, and I do love Crocodile and Crocodile as well, but it's sad to me that they lost their 4-leggedness. Man, I really need to study up on words. So that's why in this entire line, Sandile is my favorite, and yeah, I have to say it is very cute. Don't you agree? Sandals is very cute. So yeah, that's why Sandals is number 2. And as you all know, Nidoking, the reigning supreme number 1 in both poison types and ground type Pokemon. And that's been my list for today. And thank you so all for you that have supported me so far, and thank you for all that watching these videos and gives me views. And I hope this thread continues so I make my life happier, and I can always make you laugh and make great videos for you. Until next time, goodbye.